Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Kyler Wilson.
I'm Monica Casari.
And this is another amazing episode of
FilmRants! Not till I get beefed up, bro. Hashtag
Beefcake. Beefcake.
Why can't I get 5th wedding anniversary? Why did I do my eye like that?
I don't know.
Like this video if you like it.
Matt.
This week's episode is Gone Girl. Brought to you by David Fincher, everybody's favorite. He came out with Seven, Social Network, Fight Club, many more.
This movie racked up $370 million, which is saying a whole lot because the production budget of this movie was only like $61 million. It gets an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, which, all things considered, I think is pretty fair. Most importantly, though, I turned down working on this film in the production department. So watching this movie it's bittersweet. That being said, the show must go on. So Monica, kick us off with your 2-minute or less spoiler-free review.
With his wife's disappearance having become the focus of an intense media circus, a man sees a spotlight turn on him when it's suspected that he may not be innocent.
So, I really enjoyed this film. The story is really good. The cinematography is amazing. Fincher is a known director for how he reveals a scene, and he just absolutely knocks it out of the park on this one. I think the acting was absolutely amazing. Ben Affleck, holy shit. Rosamund Pike, who the hell is she, and where did she come from? For the first time in my life, I actually found myself saying, give me more Tyler Perry. I will say, I really do think Neil Patrick Harris was a distraction in this film. Maybe it's a problem with him being miscast. I don't really think that it's a him problem. Maybe it was, but at the end of the day, I really think it was a problem with the casting. I just don't think that he was the creepy stalker guy that we thought. In fact, it really came off as more mediocre acting rather than being a creepy stalker guy. And lastly, the twists and turns in this film really keep me engaged as a viewer 100%. Without a question, there was never a dull moment. I really felt like this movie kept me there.
I initially didn't want to see this film, but now that I have, I'm glad I did. The perspective of each of the characters in the movie, how the media can take one story and just amplify it, left you wondering who done it. Who do you even believe? Who do you like? Who are you rooting for? If you like Criminal Minds, Law and Order, this is definitely a movie for you. It keeps you wanting to know what's gonna happen. I liked it. It was a great film.
Would you recommend it to a friend?
I would definitely recommend this to a friend.
Yeah, so this is one I'm gonna say I really think it's safe to buy, guys. Look, it isn't a movie you're gonna watch every day, but it is a film that I think you'll have a couple friends over and you'll be like, hey, have you seen this movie? And they'll be like, no. And you'll be like, you need to check this out. And you'll watch it, it's gonna be amazing. So that ends our spoiler-free portion. Up next is our spoiler-full portion. You know the game at this point. If you haven't seen this film, what's coming up next are some major spoilers of this movie. It will totally ruin your viewing experience if you have not watched this movie. So if you haven't watched it, turn us off real quick, go watch the film, come back, let us know if you agree with me and her.
So Nick, played by Ben Affleck, comes home during his 5th wedding anniversary to find his wife has gone missing. He alerts the authorities and his wife's parents,
I'm standing right next to Detective Rhonda Boney,
who immediately make her disappearance a national news story. Side note, trying to sell children's books on the coattails of your missing daughter? Pretty shitty.
And our website is www.findamazingamy.com.
Anyways, through some flashbacks being narrated by Amy's diary, we find out that while the couple once had a happy marriage, they no longer do, and in all honesty, it's in shambles. Nick does everything in his power to incriminate himself, and the evidence stacks up high against him.
That was her idea. She wanted me to.
You filed the paperwork.
Because she told me to.
She was pregnant. My question becomes...
I don't want to talk to you again. Ever. Without a lawyer.
The detective investigating the disappearance finds Amy's journal and finds out that the couple had some severe financial troubles. Nick had previously pushed her, making her fall and hit her head. Amy tried to buy a gun, and she even wrote in her diary,
This man of mine may kill me,
That's stacked with blood found at the scene and evidence of a staged struggle in the living room, and it seems as though Nick is our guy.
But then we get to see the other side of the story. Amy is the craziest, most psycho bitch this side of the Mississippi.
I am so much happier now that I'm dead. Technically missing.
She finds out that Nick's been having an affair, and so, since hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, Amy proceeds to frame her husband with her murder. She wrote a 5-year-long journal sprinkled with a little bit of truth and a lot of bit of crazy.
The Nick and Amy story.
She befriends some random woman and keeps it a secret from Nick so that the same woman would then come forward to the police and incriminate Nick more.
Harvey.
Where's your wife, Nick?
Let the police do their job.
What did you do to your pregnant wife?
Also, she needed to steal that woman's piece so it would look like Amy was pregnant when the murder happened.
Voila. A pregnancy is now part of your legal medical record.
She also purchased $117,000 worth of shit and staged it at Nick's sister's home, which will ultimately incriminate his sister as well. She cuts her wrist and dumps a gallon of blood over the kitchen and then cleans it up because she knows the cops will check with their glow-in-the-dark blood stuff. Then, to put a cherry on top, she actually plans on killing herself so that Nick will go to jail and will likely be convicted with the death penalty. Okay, so everything that we just talked about happens within the first half of the film, so let's just breathe real quick. Anyways,
Nick gets wise to Amy's plan and starts to try to clear his name. He seeks out help from Tyler Perry and pleads his story, and Tyler Perry agrees. In fact, we're pretty sure that he probably cleared his entire schedule for this case. If you don't believe me,
I have been sitting by the phone, my friend.
so then Amy hooks up with these two hillbillies, and hillbillies do what hillbillies do and rob Amy of all her cash.
Ow! Oh! Dang it! Oh!
Holy shit.
And this is where Amy's plan starts to unravel. She calls Neil Patrick Harris, who used to stalk her in high school. She tells him some sob story about how she can't go to the police because she would be the one hated, and he proposes that she stay at his lake home. She agrees, and then the real insanity ensues. He all but claims her as a slave, locks her in the lake house, and walks away.
so the two of them play house with one another just like two peas in a mental house, and they see an interview that Nick does on TV. She appears to be awe-inspired afterwards, and she sets in motion another plan to frame a dude for some shit he did not do. She bites him and stages this crazy scene. Then, kids, close your ears. Seriously, earmuffs. She rapes herself with a bottle of wine. Which seems totally gratuitous to me because she totally fucks Neil Patrick Harris later.
Harder.
And then she tells the cops,
Starve me. Shave me. Sodomize me.
that's what the wine bottle was. Oh, God. She kills Neil Patrick Harris and then goes home. She then convinces everyone that she was kidnapped and it wasn't Nick. But Nick knows bitch is crazy.
You fucking bitch.
But he doesn't know she's crazy enough to impregnate herself with Nick's frozen sperm.
I want a paternity test.
And that means they can have a happy life together afterwards.
Oh, cunt.
And Nick just goes with it because he wants to take responsibility for his child. The end. Holy shit, that was a lot.
And we skipped a bunch.
But like all films we review,
There is a major problem.
Danger, Will Robinson! Danger! No, Will Robinson! Danger!
so keep in mind, we're not saying that there's a problem with the film itself rather than the character's motivation in the film. So here's the thing. So you know this guy, right? This is Superman. And this guy, who looks nothing like Superman, is Clark Kent. I bet you wouldn't know they were one and the same, would you? Okay, now here's Amy. She's the good girl from New York who's gone missing and has likely been murdered by her dickhead husband Nick. And this girl is Nancy, and she's from New Orleans. You can tell by her authentic New Orleans accent.
New Orleans.
She also went to the Clark Kent School of Disguising Yourself. Okay, now wait for it. This girl and this girl are the same person.
Anyone that is this publicized is an idiot to go out in public. Ever. Sure, sunglasses might help, but fake prescription glasses will get you busted.
Your glasses are fake. Your hair's dyed all hamster.
Our issue is this woman has meticulously planned every detail of framing her husband for murder. She even knows exactly when she's going to kill herself. She's just simply not going to be dumb enough to go out into public. Period.
But if that isn't frustrating enough, try this one on for size. Let's say her plan worked. She kills herself, he gets arrested, and convicted of murder. Part of her plan is to make sure Nick gets the death penalty.
The problem is that her dying, well, death kind of has a way of being final. And the whole point of revenge is to take satisfaction in someone else suffering for something they did to you. But if you're dead, you just simply have no satisfaction to take.
Better yet though, if you're dead, you have no way of knowing your plan worked.
So why do we mention this? The movie has gone to great lengths to show us how insane this woman is and how determined she is and how well she plans. But they completely overlook those qualities and make her go out into public and like converse with people and do stupid shit that she just would not do. She even calls her ex from high school.
How does she know he hasn't quit being a creepy 16-year-old stalker and won't just call the cops on her?
The character they presented would never do any of those things. So why'd they make her do that? Because they needed to drive plot. End of story.
This episode's already running a little bit long, so we won't get into crazy details like how hard Nick tries to make himself look like the murderer.
Or how dumb the investigators are to buy this obviously set up crime scene.
Meticulously stage your crime scene.
Or how they could easily trace his phone call somewhere, nowhere near Nick's sister's house, proving some sort of foul play.
I'd like to report some strange activity near the woodshed on the property of one Margot Dunn.
Or how there's no body, therefore chance of conviction is slim to none.
Do you know how hard it is to make a murder case without a body?
No.
Well, it's incredibly hard.
Especially since there's no physical evidence, like blood, fingerprints, semen. Not on anything that was used in this supposed murder. We just simply don't have enough time to cover it. Sorry, it's a long movie. But seriously, guys, the film was really good. I think you should go see it. Monica thinks you should go see it. You should just go see it. It's a great film. Even if it is a very high budget Lifetime movie, it's very, very good. They did a great job on it. Go watch the movie. Thanks again for stopping by, guys. We really appreciate the continued support.
Like and subscribe below. Hit us up on Facebook and Twitter.
Bing, bam, boom. What'd you think of Gone Girl?
Where you going, intern?
Thanks. Shut up.
Poo poo.
Another plan!
Beat.
I just like to dance. Here's looking at you, kid.